This is Jimi Hendrix, and this is episode 23. No, episode 24. Blessed in His Name on Elias Hasten. This podcast is for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints desiring to share the gospel, and for those who are friends of the church that would like to learn more about the church. Now, I want to say this, welcome into Club Manasseh here for a minute. Everyone is welcome in Club Manasseh. Okay? All are welcome. It's a missionary club. And step inside. You know, you've heard from Elder Bednar. I really believe he's a strong missionary apostle. He's really given a lot of wonderful insights. I think the last time we heard from him was in episode 18, but no doubt he's one of my favorite apostles. A lot of people in the church love him. And there's no doubt that, folks, the church is true. No matter how you slice it, no matter what you say, the church is true. Okay? So, with that, I just want to say that we are about to hit the diamond mine here. What the diamond mindset is. But we first need to set up some this joined with Empower Your Pattern was supposed to be, for the most part, an interview. But something happened, and at first I was real disappointed, and then yesterday I was dealing with some inner spiritual battle, some dialogue, and it's like the Spirit was telling me, well, Jimmy, do you really want this to be? Do you really want this to be an interview? You better be glad it's not an interview. Look what you're dealing with now. And what it was, my mother was watching a TV series, I think it was called Anne of Green Gables. And my ex-wife and I had watched this. I thought it was a movie back then, but it may have been a series. I really don't know. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I told my mother that I couldn't watch it because it was the last thing that I remember watching together with my ex-wife about a month before we separated. And so I would watch parts of it with her. But there was one point during the whole thing that I had to go into my room and cry. And the Spirit said, instead of focusing on the interview, you need to strengthen your faith. And you need to go out there right now and tell the world why you joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Okay, just lay it on the line and tell them why. And so, when the Spirit tells me to do something, I'm not going to go back on what the Spirit is telling me to do. Because really and truthfully, this is what the diamond mindset is, okay? It's not about this, it's not necessarily totally about this blind man that wants to be this successful speaker, you know? It's not necessarily all about that. It's about faith and testimony. It's about just really giving it my all. Really, I joined the church to deal with some pain. Okay? I'm just going to pour it out to you right now. Right here and right now. I joined the church to save myself from self-destruction. Because no matter what I tried, I couldn't find happiness anywhere else. That's just the honest truth. I'm speaking to you the honest truth. I don't know where I'd be without the gospel of Jesus Christ. I know there have been times that I've had my doubts. But I tell you what it is. I believe sometimes the adversary uses people and places and things and circumstances to plant seeds of doubt into our mind. Okay? And so now we're here in a little bit. We're going to intersect, listen to me. We're going to intersect with Empower Your Pattern. And we're going to really get down to the nitty gritty what the diamond mindset is about. But I just want you to know this. I want you to know this, okay? Jesus is the Christ. No matter how you slice it, Jesus is the Christ. And I'll gladly give my testimony of how I joined the church. Because it brought an end to a lot of pain in my mind and in my heart. With that, I think we might as well join Empower Your Pattern.
I'll be honest with you, I have struggled about how the diamond mindset has anything to do with faith. But in many ways, I have to say it is. I have been to a variety of conferences in network marketing and listened to a variety of tapes. And really, having a diamond mindset means that you have the struggle in faith. You have this problem. And you have to struggle to find this faith. And it's not easy. But there's something Joel Osteen says. He says, don't worry about your future or how you are to achieve your dreams, but know that God will give you what you need. Because here's the thing. He knows what's in our hearts. He knows we have dreams. And He gives us what we need from day to day. You know, He gives us what we need from day to day. And sometimes we just need that sustaining faith to make it through. I know originally I had planned on this being a podcast interview. But exigent circumstances, you know, the weather and things I've had to take care of around here. And I was kind of discouraged about it. But you know, it goes back to really something that Mark Gorman, the pastor and motivational speaker, Mark Gorman talks about spiritual weed eaters. You ever notice how a weed eater, you wipe the weed off. But guess what? You don't do nothing about the roots. You give the command, you're given the commandments and everything. But are you willing to carry through your thoughts to live the commitments that you made? Are you willing to live those thoughts? Are you willing to make it through those thoughts? It's tough. I'll be honest with you. The diamond mindset.
And now I'm going to share my testimony. I'm going to share with you what happened that led me to the church. February 10th, 1999. About one day, about 1 month, 9 days after we watched this Anne of Green Gables. I woke up. I had slept on a little mattress in our living room. We had slept in a separate bed the night before because we had a fight. And I had all these thoughts. I thought, well, I could apply to do a second bachelor's degree at UT Arlington. could take the business law class. Maybe see if I can get some people enrolled back in our business. There's no need to quit. We can make it working out. And I went upstairs to our room and I told my ex-wife, I said, honey, I really don't want us to separate. And she said, well, I do. Let me tell you something. That led to 2.5 years of a lot of pain. A lot of pain. And I had to do a lot of fighting. Because I had a lot of grief. I had a lot of guilt. I had some anger. I kept asking myself, why? Why? And sometimes I would hear leaders of faith say, you don't deserve to know why. And that would just make me even angrier. Because I felt like I was getting watered down truth. You remember me talking in episode 23? No, it wasn't. It was episode 21, I believe, about watered down truth. One of the episodes recently about watered down truth. And I didn't really know what else to do. I had studied under the missionaries the first time in February 1998 with my ex-wife. She'd heard about the 3 degrees of glory, shut it down. And finally, after, I would say, 15 months of being separated from my ex-wife, a little less than a year after the divorce was final, I thought, well, I need to give it one more chance. And I studied under the missionaries the second time. Things were going decently well. But I had 3 friends, Brad, Julie, and Jim Bob, and Jim Bob's family, just applying pressure all over the place, saying, Jimmy, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. And I backed down. But I was miserable. I was miserable. And about a month and a half later, or about a month later, I should say, it found me, as I did in my early adulthood, drinking socially to deal with the pain. And then I told my counselor about it. And she got angry. Like, Jimmy, how dare you? You're on psychiatric medication and you're drinking? What's wrong with you? If you're that unhappy and you're that miserable to start drinking, you need to do something about it. And you know what? I'm happy I did. Right after she left. See, unbeknownst to Brad, Julie, and Jim Bob, I had hid a missionary copy of the Book of Mormon under my bed. And I started reading. This is in late June of 2000. Okay? July, August, September. People coming to me asking me to join the church, and I'd say, no. But because I was reading it critically to the life of minds of a scientist. But then, February 27th of 2001, I got laid off from my job with legal aid. Okay? Got laid off from my job with legal aid. That was the first hammer tap for this blind boy. And I thought, okay. So I began reading the Book of Mormon from cover to cover. Stumbled across 2 Nephi 2:25. Got my answer. Okay? And then about a month and a half later, in mid-April and late April, the specialist that dealt with my birth defects, she said, it was the second time in a row, she said, I'm sorry. We think you may have cancer. That was